everyone. Welcome to our session today, Build Your Own Copilot with Teams AI Library.net. Thank you for joining. This session will take approximately 45 minutes. And in case you want to say something, ask a question, by all means, you can raise your hand. I have allowed microphones as well. So I'm just going to mute them for now, but you are allowed to open microphones. So yeah, please do. Again, thank you for joining today. Let's have a quick look on our session. It's quite interesting. A few words about Season of AI. Season of AI is an initiation from Microsoft community where group organizers and community organizers like our meetup. I guess you are all members of meetup and you have seen my message about our gifts. By the way, let me show you what we got. And if someone hasn't responded to me regarding the gifts, I will share at the end of this meeting a form where you can see the consent that you give me in order to communicate with you and how I'm going to send those these stickers. I think you saw a little bit of them. This is the Copilot sticker. There are a bunch of them, and these are the Azure stickers. Yeah, this is the one. You will get a few of them, but we have to find a way so I can send them to you somehow. So yeah, a few people have already responded, so I do have your contact. I don't know actually now who is in the meeting that has submitted the session. I don't remember the names, but I will have a look, and yeah, you will be able to communicate through this form. Give me your phone or your email, and I will respond back with how would you like to get those gifts. Now, regarding our session, today we're going to see how easy it is. Actually, it's very easy to create our own AI assistant. It's actually a bot that will be integrated into our Teams. We're not going to do it end to end. I mean, we're not going to deploy it to Teams. We're going to test it, but I will show you how you can finalize the deployment into Teams. A few words on the presentation. I have to say here that everything is provided by Microsoft community, along with the lab and the exercise. I will share with you the link also in case you don't have it. I'm Konstantinos Passadis. I'm Microsoft MVP. I'm calling from Athens, Greece. Thank you for joining again. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer as well. I'm working here in Athens as a solutions architect for a multinational company, EPAM Systems. I work remote from home. You can write down these details or you can take a screenshot here. You will find a lot of interesting things in my GitHub. Everything is open source, everything that's actually working. And you can, of course, clone, fork, or contribute to these projects. A lot of interesting, to my perception, projects. And you can find all the solutions explained with more details in this blog, cloudblogger.eu. The specific one is not yet uploaded in the blog, but as I said, I'm going to provide to you the GitHub from Microsoft where you can find the solution, or my clone repo, anything of these two. I pursue a lot of certifications, and yeah, good thing I am working in a job that I actually love. Let me accept some people that are just joining. Thank you for joining again. Welcome everyone. We have just started. A few words on the presentation. But again, it's provided by Microsoft. This session, again, will take around 40-45 minutes. So a few words about Copilot. Copilot is an extendable platform right now where we are able to create a variety of solutions using either low code or actual code for our solutions. We have Copilot Studio, which is a low code platform coming from the Power Virtual Agents evolution. You can find another very interesting video in our channel, Cloud Blogger, um, where you can see how you can build your own Copilot using Copilot Studio. Today, we're looking into a Pro Code solution using Visual Studio for our Teams integrated bot, which is actually an AI assistant that communicates with a GPT model for natural language processing and also communicates with the same AI resource, but with a different model, text embedding, in order to create the indexes for the AI search engines where we're going to store resumes, curriculum vitae, right? So our bot assistant is our hiring assistant. We can ask details. I'm looking for a Python engineer. What can you propose me? Now, back to the presentation. We have the ability to create a number of connectors, actually utilize a number of connectors, for example, Snowflake or SharePoint or Excel, even Power Automate, where you can create actions based on your input on the Microsoft Copilot Studio. We can utilize plugins where you can bring your apps, your workflows, and your automation. You're going to see the term AI automation more and more as we progress in the evolution of AI. We're right in the middle of the genesis of AI applications, and the natural evolution of this technology is automation. They're not going to take our jobs, you know that. They're not here to replace us, they're here to help us. So automating things using natural language is the ultimate scenario for our era and for our field, being IT professionals, I mean. Also, they are very customizable, right? All Copilot extensions, no matter if you are coming from the low-code platform or you are from the pro-code platform, they are highly customizable and highly adaptable to our needs. So we can integrate our knowledge, for example, a website or PDF files as we're going to do today. We can integrate our applications. So, for example, we can have an application that promotes our business and integrate a web chat where the user can ask for our products, take their email and their registration details, inform them about our privacy policy. Sorry, a lot of stuff. And of course, automation, right? Logic apps and Power Automate are in the focus right now. Power Automate a little bit more because it's through Copilot Studio, which again is for users that don't necessarily need to write code. Okay. Again, today we're going to see something more on the Visual Studio. That's why the title is Teams AI Library.net. So today we're going to utilize our large language models from Azure OpenAI. We're going to utilize the Teams AI library and the bot framework to build our Teams application. You're going to see how easy that is. It's very easy to do it, and it's actually a 15-minute, no more than 20-minute starting with it. I understand that probably, it doesn't mean that by clicking things you understand what you're doing. I know that, but it's very exciting to do something and actually see it working, and then you can start researching on how this is done, how this is built, what code it is using, and all that nice stuff. So our model is going to use foundational models, text embedding for the embedding creation for the CVs that are fake CVs, right? For people, I'm sorry, and the foundational model again, GPT-35 Turbo for our chat interaction. We can have, of course, our system prompt, which is configurable through the Visual Studio project settings. It's just a file. It's nothing more than that. That it is drawn from the application for the bot to utilize. And if we want to extend this application, we can have, of course, actions, handlers, triggers, and intent detection. Intent detection meaning that we can have also keywords. For example, we can have a recommendation app and the user doesn't need to write anything else than the keyword recommendation. So the bot will understand what to do based on our application logic. And of course, finally, the user experience where we can have streaming data or we can have streaming chat. Citations, very important. Where did you find this information and you are proposing to me? So the bot will bring up citations for the data that it's bringing up, feedback looking and more. Now through, if you have followed Ignite, you will also have understood that we are looking into multi-agent deployments where one agent does one thing, another agent does another thing. We have an orchestrator and our job is much, much, much easier at the end of the day. Previously, we have bots that were quite primitive, right? They did something that was predetermined and pre-configured. We didn't have, of course, understanding, right? They could respond and interact with a specific set of skills, which they were not actual skills. They were just inputs set by the developers already into the bot's database. And, we could not understand user intention. The bot could answer only specific things. Hello, hi, and probably something that had to do with the specific app that it was serving. Now, with the Teams AI library, we have the ability to have evolved bots where they are actual conversational bots. They can converse with us, they can understand us, and they can interact with us in a natural way. Why does that happen? Because we have an LLM behind it. We have a large language model, and actually we can select either OpenAI or Azure OpenAI. The foundational model will be the same, GPT, the family of GPT. And in that case, I have to tell you an important detail. You don't have to go necessarily to GPT-4. GPT-35 Turbo is actually perfect for this kind of job, and it is cheaper. So, yeah. And of course, yeah, the extraction of the user intent from natural language. So we can have commands like bring, fetch, in the natural language, fetch me or bring me or tell me or explain to me, anything really. It's like talking almost to a human. Of course, we have control over the data, and this is what we're going to see today. We're going to provide the data to the bot so it will know only this type of information. Truly conversational Teams applications built with purpose to leverage app skills. I'm sorry, is something wrong? No. Okay, good. We have an M365 interface for our large language models. We have built-in natural language processing, and this is the chat copilot extension with prompt engineering and moderation. There is a plan for the engine to guide conversation to extract intents and map to app actions. This is already happening in Copilot Studio. LLM modularity, where developers can use any LLM they choose. Now we can use OpenAI and Azure OpenAI. I'm confident that in a very short time we will be able to use other LLMs as well. And a small example here, bot make a task for Babak from this. Copilot build with the Teams AI library, communicate with LLM and with Microsoft 365, and it creates our task. This is a high-level design or a high-level screenshot, let's say, or how can I say that, snapshot, okay, from the whole architecture that we're going to see in a few. 4 simple steps we need. Create our resources. So we need an Azure subscription, right? We need to create our components, create the application object, add the prompts, and add the actions. That's simple. Before we had the bot framework. Now we are able to use directly the Teams Toolkit for Visual Studio with the Teams AI framework. At the end of the day, you're going to see that it is, of course, supported in .8. And now it's time for the demo. Thank you for staying with me, and let's go to the demo. What we're going to see is what we are looking now in the screen. Again, I will provide everything to you through the Copilot, Season of AI Copilot GitHub repository. I'm not going to stay more into this presentation. Let's move on to our actual app. Let me connect. If you have any questions, please open your microphone. Just throw that to me. Let me find also the form so you can provide your details in case you have missed it or you haven't provided me your details about whether I'm able to communicate with you. I just need your consent. You know how it is. Okay, so let me find this. Let me find this form. Yeah. While the virtual machine is loading. Let me find my form. It's not asking too much. Just I just need your name and the communication method, either your email or your phone. Your phone is optional, but I need your email at least. Again, the gifts are stickers, Azure stickers and Copilot stickers. And there's going to be a surprise. It is going to be random, so I don't know who is going to take it. I'm not saying anything. It is a surprise, so yeah. Yeah, I got your form. It's this one. I'm just going to put it in the chat. This is the URL. In case you do want to get some stickers and probably be considered or be into the draw for the surprise gift, please complete this form. Anyone that has already completed it, no need to do it. But if you are just joining and you haven't seen the message in our group, please let me also give you the short link. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. So please complete this form so I can communicate with you and send you the gifts. What we need, let's start with some very basic but important details. So we need an Azure subscription. This is the first thing that we need, okay? We need an Azure subscription, okay? You can get one for free, azure.microsoft.com. You can create your free subscription. Then you need to create an OpenAI resource. Now you can do it without asking for that permission or that resource to be created through a request. You can just create it. So you can go to Azure AI Services, or you can search for it, OpenAI, and create an OpenAI resource. That's simple. Then you need to create, apart from the OpenAI, we need to create an Azure AI search resource. Why? Because we're going to upload our PDF files directly to AI Studio, and then we're going to index them. So that's why we need two deployments. And I'm going to show you what we need. So let's say you created your OpenAI service by clicking on the OpenAI service that you are going to use. In our case, it's this one. You will find the simplest thing here. Go to Azure OpenAI Studio, right? And then you are into OpenAI Studio, where you can, from here, you will need to create two deployments, right? One, it's going to be text upgrading ADA 002. You can name it whatever you like. And then you need one of the GPT family. My suggestion, GPT-35 Turbo, just fine. And uh, it won't charge you that much. It has a bigger quota regarding the tokens. So that will be great. I'm suggesting not to use the free AI search when you're going to create the second needed resource, in our case AI search. You can use the basic one. Um, I think the free will work, but it's better to use the basic. This is my suggestion. You can try with free, but if you have problems, go for the basic one. You don't need to create the index. Everything will be done through the AI Studio interface. So let's have a quick look. We have created our resources, OpenAI and AI search. Okay. You need also a storage account. Okay. Also a storage account. Then what you have to do, open Visual Studio. You can work with the community version as well. You don't need the enterprise plan. Okay. Visual Studio or VS Code as well. It's easier with Visual Studio. It is integrated with all the tools that you need, and you don't need to write anything. Starting a new Teams bot, it provides everything to you. All you have to do is to create the manifest file, which is done, uh, almost is done for you. You just need to create a few configurational elements for your bot. I have already created the project. So in our case, what you need to do is create a new project, create a new project, and you will find at the top of this list, let me close the Teams application just to be a little bit faster. You will find here, if you search for Teams, you will find Microsoft Teams app. In case you don't, you can see here that this is the type of the template that we're going to open, Microsoft Teams app. In case you don't find this template, all you need to do is open the installer of Visual Studio, and from the ASP.NET family of frameworks and libraries, you need to check the Teams AI toolkit. So everything is based on the Teams AI toolkit. Let's open now our project. This is the screen that you are taking upon creating your new project. If anyone has already worked with Visual Studio, you can check that box that says put the solution and the project files in the same folder. You can do that, no worries at all. It takes some time to load. Of course, Visual Studio is something of a big application, and it usually takes a little bit of a time. I'm also working through a remote workstation, so we have a small delay here. Also close the OneDrive app. We don't need it. I need you to go away. So here is our project. Let's open the first thing that we need to open, and this is going to be in the env folder of the Teams app. You need to use one environment file, which is, let me validate if is this the dev one or is this. Yeah, you need to edit this file, env user, and add your OpenAI endpoint and your OpenAI deployment name. Moving on, there is a file named config.json. I'm going to show you the correct version than the GitHub one. I think it's a little bit not updated in the GitHub, so I have already erased an issue, but this is the correct one. And there is a file named skprompt.txt. It is the prompt that you are giving to your bot. So let's take it from the start. Once you create your project and you're taken to the first screens, the next thing to do is you need, of course, an M365 account. Don't forget that. And you need to prepare your tenant to be able to accept new applications. All right. Once you create your project and you edit it's this one, the env.local.user, then you need to create a tunnel. So from this menu, is the arrow beside the start of the application, you have these dev tunnels. So you need to create a new tunnel to your subscription. So you will be able to make tests to this application without actually building it and publishing it to Azure. So let me select the tunnel and show you how you can use them. Let it load. I'm giving you now the link of the Copilot with Teams GitHub repo. All the details are there. There are a few errors. If you look in the project issues, you will find an issue created by me that says how you have to make the change to the JSON file for it to communicate correctly with the search service. So in the tunnels, all you need to do is go here, dev tunnels, create a tunnel, give it a name, make it temporary, and the access should be public. That's all. In case you have any message here, all you need to do is re-enter your credentials. Once your tunnel is ready, next thing to do, of course, you can create the logo and all that nice stuff, but it's not mandatory, you know. Next thing to do is go to the Teams app folder here, create, right click on it, and you will find the selection to prepare the Teams dependencies as it is said. Teams Toolkit, prepare Teams app dependencies. So it will download everything for you regarding libraries that it's needed. Nothing to do. All you need to do, Teams Toolkit, prepare Teams app dependencies. Next thing, all you need to do now is time to start checking your app. So how we can check it? You're going to press start or F5. Before that, let's complete the final step, which is to provide to our AI models the ability to search our resumes, our users' resumes. So I can ask the bot, find me someone with 3 years of experience in Python. So how we do that? When we create the deployment of our GPT, we open it in the playground, and then we select add your data. Now, because I have already here my data, I'm going to select another deployment, but keep in mind, preferably use a GPT-35 Turbo. So I'm going to open my playground. I'm keeping the same prompt. You will find it also in the repo I have provided to you. And then add your data. I'm going to remove this data source and add a new one. Add the data source so I could use the other one. Now, if I have already created a search, I can just select it. In our case, I'm going to upload my files. Okay. In the repo, you will find a zip file with the fictional resumes from fictional users that they are applying for a job. Select your storage account. This is also something that you have to create previously. You will get this message. In case you get this message, don't worry. All you have to do is go to the storage account in the subscription and enable course. In case you are facing any trouble, you can either message me or try to troubleshoot it, not through here, but go to the portal and make the change to the configuration of the storage account for course for this specific resource. Let me show you, because I know sometimes it's better to see something complete rather than trying to troubleshoot and troubleshoot and troubleshoot again. It's very frustrating, I know. So I'm going to show you what does this course means. I have selected this one, I think. If you go to storage accounts, you will find in the settings menu this thing. Cross-origin resource sharing is the explanation of the acronym. So you can either have an asterisk and allow all origins, or if you want to be more secure, you can add here the suffix of the domain of Azure AI. In our case, it would be azure.com. But you know, adding the asterisk, you are allowing any endpoint to communicate for these methods, get options, post put, these API methods with this resource for blob service. Okay, you can go with either option, either add only the azure.com, right, like this one. I have it for another example. So you can lock down the origin that can communicate with the API of these allowed methods with the storage account, and only for blob you need everything to be enabled. And this is only when you are making API calls and you need to get data from the storage. So this is the course. Usually it works directly from the AI interface and you just enable it here, but in case you face this problem, it's there is a point that you go. You need a search resource. Why? Because the search cognitive service or AI service now can play the role of a vector database. That's it. It is very straightforward. Usually, previously AI search could not do that, but now it can. So I'm uploading my data to the storage account through the AI interface. I'm selecting the AI search resource and I'm giving it a name. Let's say bot career. It's going to create an index with that name. I need to have this checkbox enabled, okay? And which model are you going to use for creating the embeddings? And by embeddings, what do we mean? It's going to take all the PDFs that are into that zip file. I'm going to show you them. And it's going to break them down into chunks. and these chunks are going to be vectorized. Vectorized. It's going to create vectors out of this data, and the embeddings are actually like addresses in this vector database. So each time that you are writing, find me someone with Python skills, the bot will analyze this input of yours and it will find the keywords that correspond to its database, to its vector database. So Python, it's going to be it's going to correspond to the closest numerical address of the existing vector database. So it will find users that have Python into their profile. All of this is not happening with text, okay? It is a numerical function. Imagine statistical functions. I try to explain it as much as simple as possible. So break down the PDFs. We're saying it's actually what we're telling now. Break down these PDFs that I'm going to give you and use this model of AI, this deployment, to break them down. And where are the PDFs? In the GitHub repo, you will find all these fictional people that you are going to provide to the AI Studio to be able to create the embeddings of and then communicate through the bot assistant in Teams to find the person that you are looking for. The solution can work with anything that you want to work with, right? Don't forget, you need to change the prompt in case you need to change the approach. The search size is going to be vector. Select the size. Usually it's 1024. You can play with this size depending on the type of data, how big is your data, and checking the performance. If your model, your solution is not performing very well, you can play with the size. You need to create another index. Authentication, how I'm going to communicate with the search and use the API key. Okay, you can work with system assigned managed identities as well. It's up to you. The easier and more straightforward is just to select this API key. Now it's going to ingest the data, and it's not going to take that long. It's breaking down the files, it's storing them to the storage account, and it's creating the embeddings that it's going to store in our index. Don't have that much of time, so let me return to the Visual Studio. Okay, once you do that, there is another final step you need to perform. This step is to find the config.json file that lays into, let me find it real quick. I had it here. Yes, it's this one. It's the config.json. And let me find exactly where that is. It's into the prompts chat folder. So in the solution, prompts, chat, you have the system prompt here. You are instructing your model how to behave. Okay, you are setting it each behavior, each role, each expertise. What are you? What am I? Says the bot. You are this. You are a career specialist. You have this name, and you help human resources team for writing job posts. You are friendly and professional. You always greet users with excitement and introduce yourself. You like using emojis when appropriate. This is very fun. We're going to see why. And then you have this file. Where I'm going to get this file, man? Okay, where I'm going to get this? It's very easy. You don't need to write nothing. Everything is provided to you. Okay, when the ingestion is finished, you have this very beautiful menu here with view code. Of course, you can deploy directly to a web app, this thing. Export, import, and samples for your prompt. The most important one is this view code. You can authenticate, of course, key authentication, in our case, meaning API key. And you have here the availability to select JSON, Python, C Sharp, Curl, Java, Go, JavaScript, anything really that you like to work with. So JSON is going to be our case because in our solution we are using JSON. Get this thing with a copy, that's it, and bring it over to your config.json file. That's it. Be careful to add the keys if they are not inserted already into the code. I think we are ready to test our application. Remember, we created a tunnel. Don't forget that tunnel because it's needed here. It's needed to communicate with the Teams Microsoft 365. And then the final step that I forget to mention, the final step before testing is this one. Let me tell you what's this one. Okay, prepare Teams dependencies. Yes. Okay. When you start creating, at some point, it's going to ask you which user you want me to use for testing. It's also going to be asked in the tunnel. Select a user that does have a Teams license. Okay, be careful there. You don't need to provide tenant or anything else. It will discover through the UPN which tenant it's going to use. But select a user that does have Teams rights, okay, Teams license, and not use a personal account. So let's start. Let's start our application. What is happening right now? You saw that the actual configuration is very simple, right? We didn't write a single line of code. We just copied what we needed from AI Studio and we brought it into our config.json. The prompt, we can change it, of course. It is a suggestion from the GitHub repo by Microsoft Community. And the PDF as well is for this specific use case. But this is a very flexible application. You can change it to whatever liking you want. Another example that I like to use is PDF files with license information about server, Windows Server, DevOps, AI Studio, GitHub, how licensing is done. These are PDFs, usually 1 page or 2 pages long, but there are a bunch of files because you have, for example, SQL licenses, server licenses, Office licenses, Git, Copilot licensing, Visual Studio licensing, a lot of stuff. You can collect all these licensing PDF. You can print them out from the web as well. Create your PDF, upload them, change the prompt to something else. You help users and explain them how licensing works, for example. And then start communicating with your bot and ask about licenses. So immediately we understand that we don't have to, what's this? Okay, we need to recreate the dependencies, no problem. You can see here that I also have GitHub Copilot at my disposal. Let me create again the dependencies. Yeah, I don't have built this project to tell you the truth. And yes, this is the point where you need to add the credentials. So I'm not using my personal account. I'm using this specific account that has the ability to run Teams, right? This is what you need. When you create the dependencies is when you are asked which user are you going to use to test this app, and you're going to select a user that has Teams licenses. Okay, very nice. Again, you can use your own PDF. Okay, change the use case. It's that easy. So there is no dependency on the actual use case here. Okay, you can understand that the resources are the same, of course, but the actual use case is going to be whatever you want to be. I'm using a wrong password. Yeah, I know. I'm using the same scenario with GitHub. so everyone can understand what we're doing. And because this workshop, say, is provided by the community, the least I can do is to honor it and present the same one as given by Season of AI people that created this very nice presentation. No, sign into this app only. It's going to sign up. And it will build all the dependencies needed, and we can then test our application. Again, we need a tunnel, okay? It is a nice way of checking your Teams app without the requirement to publish anything in Azure or use the developer portal, okay? There are, of course, other ways. You can use the bot emulator as well. In our case, we're using this one. All right, I think we can do it. Okay, let's wait here to finish. I don't know if you want to discuss or ask me anything at this point. Please complete the form so I can send you and communicate, say the better, with you, so you can receive your gifts. Okay, why are you failing? I don't know. I'm going to try that again. What is going to happen when you are clicking on this? It will bring up a browser window, as you can see. It will open Teams. It will try to log in with the user, I'm sorry, that I have provided for this specific test. Yeah, I know that the Edge is updated and you informed me about it earlier, but thank you very much. Anyway. Remember, I have provided an issue in the Git repo that I have given to you. The JSON is not correct in the GitHub repository. The correct one is in the issues tab of the same repo. If you are a little bit of, in a hurry to say it, to create the solution, don't forget to use that JSON. If you can wait, I will post the same solution in the coming week for us to enjoy. So we have this one, carrier Genie local, and it adds this suffix local because we're using the tunnel, right? It is not an actual application embedded into Teams, right? It's not created for Teams. We're just testing it. This is a way to test your Teams applications. And now this is a personal testimony, right? When I started working with the Teams Toolkit, I was very confused. I didn't understood nothing. How that thing is happening? Oh my God, what is this? But I took a little bit of a step back. I started reading the documentation, which is it is okay, right? It's not bad, okay. And finally, with some trial and error and spending about some 2 or 3 hours, I was able to understand how this thing works. You can start using and try to create this solution for bots in general. It is in the blog. You will find it in the name. It is the last thing, the bot framework. So this is the first thing that you can try, that it uses a similar logic, right? A bot in our Teams, okay? But it is more of an independent bot, and we just throw it into a Teams channel. That's all here. In our app now here, we are integrating directly a Teams application. So let's say hello here to our dear bot. Hello, let's see, and hopefully we won't have a problem. At least I have an answer here for the previous hour that this is how you're going to respond when you ask, for example, about someone with Python. Let's go. Hello. It needs some time, I think, here to load, but anyway. Okay. Also, before you are ready to play, you can work with the chat playground because it is a similar experience that you're going to get here. Okay, a similar experience. So if I ask, can you suggest someone with Python skills? Let's see what will happen here. So you can play along here, and it is already answered me with this one, Renata Hill. These are all fictitious people. Renata Hall, QC, and Nick Hang. And yeah, it's trying to create emojis here, but it can't because this interface does not support emojis. But yeah, this is a similar answer that you're going to get in our Teams application. And finally, it is here, and you can see that it is utilizing the correct prompt, use emojis whenever possible. Let's get the same question for the Teams thing and ask. And let's see what's going to happen. Sorry for the delays. It's a remote workstation, and today it's not its day. Decided today to take it slow. It's a Friday, you know. That's why, I guess. But anyway. Okay, could you please provide with some more details about the specific role or job position? Okay, I want experts in Python. I want expert candidates. Are expert in Python. This is a very generic question. What type of qualifications? No, I just need just Python experts. No. Okay, you're looking for more details. Let me see. Okay, the more information. I don't know why it's happening now. This, I suppose, I guess it has something to do with the Teams load. Right, Python experts for finance roles. But anyway, we don't need to troubleshoot right now. I think you have understood what we're trying to do here, and the correct responses should come from this thing. Okay. Okay, let me see if he will find them. Let's give it a moment. Okay, the interaction is, I don't like it a lot. I preferred this one. It was quite much better. I don't know why now it's trying to do this. How can I say that? trying to do it this way. But let's go. I'm asking again, please provide a candidate for Python with and yes, it's find someone. Yeah, it's all about how you put your prompts. I don't know. Earlier it was a little bit easier for it to understand, but yeah, you can play along. You can play along with your system prompts. We can play along with the instructions that you're giving, and yeah, this is the solution. I think we are fine for now. Thank you for joining. I'm so pleased that you are here, and I hope you understood what's going on. I have provided also all the details from the Git repo, but in case you need help, don't hesitate to contact me. My details are almost everywhere. Um, if you have ideas and you like to see something more specific, please propose to me your ideas, and I'm looking for people to start taking the stage. So please, I'm I'm trying to convince you here, but it's not about convincing, okay? It is that in Azure Innovators Hub, it is a safe space for anyone to take the stage and discuss anything that you would like to discuss with us. Give us your expertise, give us your opinions. You don't have to create nothing. You can just apply for a session or send me a message. We can discuss it together if you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And yeah, I would like to provide the opportunity to other people to give us their opinions, their expertise, their ideas, anything really that is worth discussing it. So please consider this offer. It is an open offer for anyone really. Just keep in mind we want to discuss something about cloud. It doesn't need to be necessary on Microsoft products, right? You can get any subject you want from any vendor or vendor agnostic even, right? And not everything is about AI. Okay, you can bring your dev experience, your infrastructure experience, really anything. Thank you everyone for being with me tonight. I will contact you for your sticker gifts uh, to the next event. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye bye.